Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into Gamehaus Holdings' latest filing, and let me tell you, it's got a risk section longer than my grocery list after payday. We're talking about a company trying to make waves in the mobile gaming world, but facing some serious headwinds from China, so buckle up. Gamehaus at its core is a mobile game publishing company. What that means is that they are the middleman helping small and medium-sized game developers get their creations out to the world. They handle the marketing, distribution, and even offer some development support. As of today, they've published around 1 million downloads across different genres. Alright, so what's the catch? Well, a big one is their exposure to China. The filing is filled with warnings about the Chinese government's potential actions and new regulations that could severely impact their operations. They are worried the government might suddenly decide to make it harder or even impossible for them to do business or to offer their stock to investors. It mentions the opinions, the trial measures, and the revised provisions, all of which sound like levels in a bureaucratic video game. It's not just the Chinese government they are worried about. US regulators are also adding pressure. The SEC, PCAOB, and even Nasdaq itself are taking a closer look at companies with significant operations in China. This could mean tougher rules, potential delisting from the stock exchange, or simply more hurdles for Gamehaus to clear. Adding to the complexity, there's increased scrutiny from the Cyberspace Administration of China, or CASA, over data security. This is extra relevant for companies listed on foreign exchanges. All these measures, especially if they are interpreted unfavorably, could disrupt their business, hurt their finances, and basically throw a wrench in the whole operation. Another major concern is access to their money. Gamehaus's operations are largely based in China, which means their cash is stuck there too. Chinese regulations can restrict how much money subsidiaries can send to the parent company, limiting their ability to fund operations or invest outside of China. Here's a tax nightmare scenario. If the Chinese government decides Gamehaus's de facto management body is in China, they could be classified as a PRC resident enterprise. This would mean paying a whopping 25% income tax on their worldwide income. It gets worse. Dividends paid to overseas shareholders could also be subject to a 10% or 20% withholding tax. Now, what are they planning to do? Their strategy focuses on three main things. First, working closely with their current game developer partners, trying to squeeze out more hits. Second, expanding their network to get more and different games into their portfolio. And third, dumping more money into research and development. They want to improve their AI platform and their data to better publish and market their games. Let's peek at the actual financials. For the 9 months ended March 2025, their revenue was $87.24 million and net income was a modest $233 million. Let's compare it to last year when they pulled in $1,113.6 million with net income of 6 to what happened. The gaming market is competitive, but let's get more into the financials. The filing mentions key performance indicators, what they call metrics. The average daily active users, DAU, dropped by 18.2%. It means there's losing almost 1 in 5 daily players versus last year. They point out the loss of DAU led to the advertising cost decreasing by 19.7%, but it's a concerning trend. There is a significant risk from app distribution platforms like Apple and Google, because Gamehaus relies on them to sell games and collect revenue. So any policy change or being kicked out would hurt revenue. A recent concern they raised is a new Google policy will only serve ads to some users and might limit income, and they don't know what it will do to revenue. They're also planning to let some shareholders sell up to 52,093,399 Class A ordinary shares. This could flood the market with shares, driving down the price and make it hard to raise capital in the future. Some of these shareholders bought their stock at a lower price than the public, so they can profit even if the stock drops. It raises the question, are they confident in the company's long-term prospects, or are they just cashing out while they can? Being a foreign private issuer under SEC rules means Gamehaus doesn't have to be as transparent as US companies. They don't have to file quarterly reports or disclose as much information about executive pay. This might make some investors wary. They've even admitted to finding significant problems or material weaknesses in their internal controls. This means they might not be able to accurately report their financials or prevent fraud. It's more expensive to be public. They'll face higher legal, accounting, and insurance costs. They might need to hire more people to handle compliance. If they fail to meet these obligations, they could get delisted, fined, or even face civil lawsuits. They depend on contracts with small developers that have good intellectual property rights to the games. Their success also relies on a complex web of contracts, but hey, any slip-ups there could open them up to lawsuits and costs. Now let's step back and analyze Gamehaus as a whole. The company's direction is shaky. They have a decent strategy focused on partnerships and technology, but their dependence on the Chinese market presents huge risks. They need to reduce this reliance quickly to make sure to stay compliant with all new regulations. Their weaknesses are pretty clear in the recent financials. The user base is shrinking and net income is dropping faster than a lead balloon. Management should think about whether to invest into profitable area, if their current strategy can work, and if not, they should focus on a new one. The major risks and opportunities are interlinked. The Chinese regulations could be a death knell, or if navigated successfully, could provide a unique competitive advantage. Diversifying revenue streams away from in-app purchases and creating hit original games will be keys to survival. In conclusion, Gamehaus Holdings looks like a high-risk, high-reward play right now. Their dependence on China introduces huge challenges, but they also have a few interesting ideas in a potentially growing industry. What's your take on this company? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, this is not investment advice. Do your own research. If you found this breakdown useful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more financial analysis. Also, join our Discord community using the link in the description. See you next time,